I've washed my car for over a year and a half. I've washed my car for a year and a half. By that time, it'll be swirl galore, right? Swirl galore, swirl world, world of swirl. And no, it still looks good. Now, once again, you can't keep it perfect. Even if you do that 2-bucket method, you will get streaks and scratches and swirls. So I would avoid that. I will show you the best way to wash your car to minimize scratches and to do it relatively quickly. Welcome to the Cobra Pit, whether you're a longtime viewer or a newer subscriber like Marisol Cortez. I see you. I appreciate every single one of you. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me. Now, I've been washing my own cars for a while now, and you can look all over the internet. You'll see get 0 scratches, use the 2-bucket method, do the touchless wash. They all have techniques that may help with minimizing scratches, but I think I've come up with the best way to do so. Now remember, you must touch your car to clean it. Some people will say just spray it, touchless, and it won't get clean. It won't get clean. So follow these steps and you'll be great. I will show you the minimum amount of things that I use. Now, I do use a pressure washer. I got this off of Amazon for pretty inexpensive. I think about $150, and I use it around the house for other things as well. So it does come in pretty handy. I do have a leaf blower that does come in handy, but it's not necessary at all. I typically use it for the windshield, and since a Tesla is covered with mostly in glass on the top, it really helps speed that up, and for the rims and tires. But I'll show you without using that at all. That's just a bonus. But I do use a bucket, and it's not even to fill up with water anymore. I used to fill up with water. It's not necessary anymore. It just holds my towels and everything. So I have 4 towels, and I say you can get around with 3, but I would go with 4 or even 5, and I'll explain why. I use 1 for each side of the car. You want a fresh, clean towel for each side. Now remember what I said. It won't be perfect, but it will work out. Now these towels are nice and thick. They absorb a lot. They are pretty pricey, about $22 each, but how much money are you going to save with washing your own car? Also use another rag for cleaning the rims and the wheels and things like that. So make sure that one's its own separate cloth, its own separate fiber. I use a foam cannon to go along with my pressure washer. Now this is beautiful because, you know, once you get this, and this is an inexpensive one I got off of Amazon. Everything will be linked below, everything. Also, I use the Chemical Brothers, Chemical Boys. I use this soap here. It's pretty good soap, and it smells good. They have different scents. They have honeydew and different things like that, but it suds up and foams up very, very well. I like to buy the biggest one, and it lasts me quite some time. Now, regardless of if you have a pressure washer or just use a water hose, I highly, highly recommend these. These go at the base underneath your tires so that the hose can just easily float through and it doesn't get hung up underneath the tires at all. So this right here is big. Also, I got an extension for my pressure washer hose. I'll link to that as well because sometimes, you know, instead of pulling your actual pressure washer around, it's easy to just have a super long hose. Now, it is annoying when you have to coil it up at the end, but during the washing process, will be done so quick because you don't have to fiddle around with bringing that pressure washer around your vehicle. Now, any other thing you want to add, like, you know, tire spray, tire shine, or any waxing or buffing or any other detailing, you know, that's on you, whatever you want to use. I'm not going to focus too much on the interior, but I am going to get the inside of the windows just to give it that clean overall look. So I kind of eyeball how much soap to add, how much detergent to add. I go about this much, about 10% of the bottle. And depending on the size of your car is how much water you need. Now, I can use about 3/4 of this bottle here. And actually, I can use even less. So it doesn't even use that much water or that much soap. So for a smaller sedan like a Model 3, that's how much I use. For my Model X, I use about, I don't know, 4-6. I still don't even use the whole bottle. It's not necessary at all. You'll see once we start foaming the car. you want to go ahead and use your pressure washer. Now I have it set with this nozzle. The nozzle is important. The nozzle is important. You don't want too much pressure, and also you don't want to get too close. It won't damage the paint at all. But when you have the higher pressure nozzles, it can chip your paint away. Now be careful, because even at this strength, you can cut your hand. Check this out. Now this was just, I was being very, very reckless with it at one point, and I can't remember what I was doing, but I think I got distracted by something. I turned and I sprayed my hand. So it is strong enough to damage your skin, but it won't damage your paint at all. Or even my chrome delete that I have added to my Model 3, it hasn't damaged it at all. So you go around and you spray everywhere. Now this is the time to focus on those harder to remove pieces of debris and dirt that's stuck on there, like the tree sap and things like that. When you get in close, and remember, you won't damage the paint at this pressure, or at least I haven't. You get it and you really try to get in there and remove as many as you can. So really take this time now to really focus on the stubborn parts of the paint that have tree sap and bugs and things like that you want to remove, because the minimum amount of scrubbing you do is better for your scratches. So make sure you do the whole car, front, back, side to side, top, all over, right? And then once you make sure you got all the stubborn pieces off just by spraying it, not even scrubbing it, that's it. Now you go ahead and attach your foam cannon. Now the foam cannon has two different settings. You have the actual nozzle part and the top pressure to find that perfect spray. You want that perfect spray to cover a lot. You don't want it all over the place, right? Or you don't want it too narrow, too much pressure directly at your car. You have to find that sweet spot and you spray it all over. It looks like it's snowing. It never snows in SoCal, they say, but it is today, right? So you get a nice coat all over, top, bottom, rims, tires, get a nice coat all over. Now, this will actually do the work for you. It will dig out the deeper dirt that's in there that you didn't get with your initial spray down, your initial rinse. So this will actually go down. And while you are letting it all eat up that dirt, eat that dirt away. While you're doing that, this is your chance to use your other rag to go and wipe down the rims, right? You go wipe the rims down and you're just letting that dirt get eaten away by that detergent and soap, and it's just draining it down, right? This is just the harder to reach areas. Once again, you did the heavy lifting with your initial rinse. So washing all 4 tires, making sure you get them nice and clean, whatever you want to use. I don't use anything extra on here. The tires and rims get dirty anyway. Sometimes I use the tire shine, but a lot of times I just, I won't. It just depends on how I feel. Some people are anti-tire shine. I'm not. So now it's time to use a sponge. And no, I used to use sponges, but if there's dirt on there, you don't want to scrape it in, right? You don't want to take it, because you can't see every micro dust particle that will actually scratch your paint. So you don't want to scrub it at all. You don't need to scrub it. My car comes out perfectly clean without doing any of that. So now I'm going to go and I'm going to reattach the nozzle to just rinse it off. I'm just gonna rinse it off. So now I'm going through, I'm starting from the top, I wanna get all the soap to just funnel down. I'm gonna go ahead and just spray it all over the car. This is when you need to get into the cracks, right? You're gonna have soap go into the door jambs, the handles, between the trunk. Just spray every little nook and cranny that you can. Make sure you get nice and close. And if you do come across another stubborn piece of bug or dirt or sap, this is your chance again. And every once in a while you might find one where you just need to scratch away a little bit, right? But for the most part, you'll get everything the first time through. Then you go through the second time and the third time. Anything that was really hard, it should be loosened up with this with the soap. So now it's just rinsing away. So like I said, this pressure is good. If I need to get closer, I do. I don't damage the paint. I don't damage my chrome delete. All the areas are perfect. Now you want to make sure you rinse everything. Take special detail when it comes to the side mirrors, because the side mirrors, there's lots of nooks and crannies in there as well. Underneath the bottom of the car, rinsing those rims and tires out. All of those areas need to be rinsed perfectly. Now, Now we have to dry the car. Now is when you're going to actually apply some pressure and when the 4 different towels come into play. So I like to start in the area where the sun is hitting most. So right now it's coming from the back. So I'm starting the rear. Now here is the critical part. Here is the critical part. When you wipe your car dry, when you wipe it dry, stay consistent in your orientation, the direction that you are wiping. If I'm going to do the trunk, I'm going to go from right to left. I'm not going to go in circles. I'm not going to go left to right, then up and down. I'm going to stay consistent with it, right? And that's why I like these towels, because they have different colors, so it helps me remember which side to use. So I stay on one side for the upper half, and then when I go to the bottom half, secondly, because that's where most of the dirt and grime is, right, towards the bottom. You want to use that secondly, and then you flip it over, and you do the bottom with that other side. Remember that orientation. Once again, this will not 100% prevent you from getting scratches, but they're really noticeable when you have swirls, right? You will get some streaks here and there, but the streaks aren't as noticeable as all the swirls. You guys know what I'm talking about. So now that towel was used for the back, and I saved the glass top for last. If you have a Tesla, save it for last because it's just glass and the water spots are easy to get out. So now I'm going to go use another towel for the side. Same thing on the side. I will do the windows, the side windows, but remember, I have the towel in a vertical orientation, and I'm going one direction. That's it. I go left to right, not up and down, and left and right, and definitely not circles. I go left to right, remembering which side of the towel I'm using. Now I do go around the side mirror, but I do have PPF on my mirrors. If you don't know what PPF is, look into it. Oh, I have it on my side mirrors and my hood, but I still take extra caution because it can damage it still a little bit. So I want to make sure I use the same method. So after I do the upper half of the side, I flip my towel over to the side that has less debris on it, and I'll do the bottom half. Same thing, going in a side-to-side motion. Now, you may get a little sore at first, the first couple times you're doing it, because your body's not used to that, but you'll find out your most comfortable position in doing so. So now that's 2 towels down. Third towel for the opposite side of the car, right? Same routine. And then I'm going to use my 4th towel for the hood. And for the hood, I like to go up and down. Remember, very important to keep that same motion, that same movement. You don't want to switch it up. And for the 3rd time, no circles that you're all used to. Straight up and down, okay? And then get it nice and dry. And now, that's why I say you can use either 4 or 5 towels. I have 4. I use one of the towels, usually from the back, because the back has less surface area. The towel from the back to do the top. Now, if you don't have a Tesla that is covered with the glass, then probably a 5th towel is the way you want to go. But I typically use the back towel on my glass. I don't have any scratches on my glass. And of course, if the rock or the piece of sand is sharp enough, then it can be, it can be abrasive enough to scratch your glass, but I've been fine. And, I do shake these off. And then I just do the whole windshield, the top, the rear glass, and I just really dig in there and make sure I get those nice and dry. Oh, one thing to note, if you ever drop your towel, don't use it anymore. Do not use it because it's going to absorb. It's going to pick up all that dirt and grain that's going to actually tear your car up. So if you keep it off the ground, keep them off the ground and make sure that if you drop it, it's done for the day. It's done. So now that the outside of the car is all dry, you will have areas that may drip, like by the side mirrors, by the trunk. And if you do have a leaf blower, this is the perfect chance to go over and blow those areas out. And then you could go back and finish wiping it. But most of the time, it's not even necessary. I will just make sure I reach underneath. I will open a trunk and get the insides, right? The jams a little bit. and just circle around the car again for any drips or drains anywhere. I will say that when I open the door, and if you have a Tesla, again, a Model 3, the windows do drop down a little bit. So I will open one door and slide over and clean the other doors, because once the doors open, I'll try not to open all the doors. Once the doors open, then that little bottom part of the window will sink in and get wet. And I wanted to be able to clean all the windows and then the insides of the windows, and then close that one and just clean that one. So just think about that. But now that's it. But just look at the difference. And yes, I might see one or two small streaks here and there, but minimum compared to this. I've washed my car for over a year and a half. I've washed my car for a year and a half. By that time, it'll be swirl galore, right? Swirl galore, swirl world of swirl. And no, it still looks good. Now, once again, you can't keep it perfect. Even if you do that 2-bucket method, you will get streaks and scratches and swirls. So I would avoid that. But once you get the routine down, you'll be good. You'll feel comfortable. And I actually love it on a Sunday or Friday night, going out there, spending a few minutes, getting out there washing my car. If you do use a leaf blower, make sure you have either some protective hearing gear on, some protective hearing protection, some hearing protection on, or some AirPods with some active noise cancellation. I'll link to everything you need below. Tell me what your thoughts on this. I really believe this is the best way, but share your experience. Thanks for watching, and don't forget, Cobra told you. All right, y'all.